Hello everyone, Michael Mechanical here, and today I'm going to be quickly, oh my god, the light's terrible in here, but I'm going to quickly be looking at the clutch plate and the flywheel, as well as the gearbox, which is on the ground outside, along with the fact that I'm wearing gloves, but I can't wear both because I'm holding the camera in one hand. And I'm also going to be today, off camera, replacing this on my diff because mine is smashed and battered and haven't replaced the oil since I ever got this car. But it was clean last I checked. It's nice and battered. I've got to clean up for welding on a new nut. I've already checked the bottom end of this. I'm just trying to think, what was I looking for a second ago? Oh, I know I've got to flip this over anyway, but I've got to take the bag off again. No, maybe not. I'm going to move this to the side. It's okay. I was thinking of something, but I don't know. Light. That's right, we don't have any light in the shed, which is bad. So I should have lights in my car or out here. If not, I have to go and grab one from the house. That's okay. There is Ford ZL Fairlane, bits and pieces still. Okay, grab one of these lamps. And I've got some light in my hands. Power of seeing where you're going. ZL once again in bits and pieces since years ago. Okay, now I've got some light. I can actually assess stuff. Because I don't know why there's no lights in the middle of the shed. Or enough light. But here we go. So it looks like a brand new clutch because it still has the grooves, it still has plenty of wear left in it to go. Around the edge in one of the spots there was, this is going to be really, really hard on camera. If I can get the camera there was a crack somewhere in the clutch on the side. I don't know if I should be worried about that or not. Okay, I'm looking. Nope. Actually, that might be it there. There's a bit of a crack in the clutch there. So I don't know if I should be worried about that or not. Or if there will be any more cracks in it. But it looks pretty good. Other than that, this clutch pack is very nice and good condition. And Fairlane parts, literally I don't have much space in the shed to work with. I'll just put this on the ground then on the scale. Very old scale, so I don't think it really matters. And here's the flywheel. Yeah, clean. It's got a machine job and you can still see the machining marks. And it's like as if a cutter went around like this and cleaned it all up nice and neatly. So it was milled on a turning table. So probably would have put a bolt through the middle, clamp it down, and then they would have turned the table around the thing, and then this would have turned around and rotated like into the cutter. So that looks all nice and good. I'm going to pick this back up and then throw this back up here. So that's that. I'm going to grab my gear because I'm actually going to show something on camera. Based on my experience with the V5M21, this is actually what damage was caused to mine. The bearing blew out. The shaft here is still kind of good, but the gear is done for. And the bearing is still attached, so sort of good and sort of bad. This is the original. That is chewed out. And people drove it like that, so that's not good. It's very, very bad. Should put a bag or something over this as well. Protect it. I've still got my original V5M21 main cluster shaft thingy. And that's worn out down that end because that bit goes into here. Something like this. Maybe not directly like that, but I remember when I pulled it apart. And it's got like a bit of a bevel in it. So it's not really a good cluster shaft. $800 to replace. Still got my other bits and pieces. I think this main cluster output shaft thingy is in good condition still. So got some good spares still here. They're not all perfect, but this one's in good condition. That's a reusable part. That's not reusable unless it's machined or bushed or something. Now to get onto the main Fiesta Resistance is essentially to get in here and look at this. So there is play in there, but not very much. I'm not sure if that's rebuildable or not. I can pull it in and out a little bit, so that movement there is probably not the greatest. But there's this sideways play in it, so it doesn't look good. And then there's your bearing that spins. Oh, speaking of which, the pinion bearing, spigot bearing, look at the wear in this. That's worn out really bad. We're going to fix that if that shaft's any good. I think it is. I'm hoping the main cluster isn't stuffed. But with this, I've got to move this to the side again. Look at this, there's a spigot bearing. Tight. It goes tight straight away. Tight there, tight there. So that's worn out, that's damaged. Okay. And then we have our bolts, our tools, snipper, parts. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be getting, it doesn't matter if these are Pajero or Triton gears, but this is a cam gear for a Pajero. I can turn this into a Triton one very easily. If I had an injector pump one, which I don't, I could turn it into an injector pump, the injector pump one into a Triton one by putting a bullnose cutter through each of the gears. And that cleans the Pajero one up into a Triton. The belts are cheaper. And this gear here looks pretty good. And I did say on a video, the reason I like this stuff and the reason I needed it is because here's my original. It cracked there, I put the vise on it and that broke there. There was only this one leg that was still in good condition, that's why I put the tape on it. And with that on my car, if that let go, that round gear type would have destroyed itself. So they're exactly the same types of gears, except one is round, one is square. You can sort of tell. And so I'm going to be making those main gears, those two top cam gears, into gears like this. If I had another one of those for the injector pump. This one here is no good, but it's a reference piece. I don't have the timing ones, because this one will go on the head. Here we go. So this was the square cut there, square cut there, square, square, and I need to turn them all into round types because they're cheaper to get the belts for. I can't do it to these ones easily enough because it stops right here, and then I'd have to machine into this face a little bit, which would probably not be the greatest idea in the world to be doing. So I'd have to figure out how to cutter that otherwise, and it's risky on these to do it like that. So they like so we could machine these, like that one can be machined. No, it can't be. None of those ones can be machined. They have to be manufactured that way because the risks. But there's, because you can put the cutter straight through sideways and it's good. I just need to get an indexing head. Use the mill. This gear I'm actually going to put on top of my cylinder head because I've got all the parts for this cylinder head. Still got to put them all together, like all the rocker arms and everything. Brand new stuff. I've got these spare shafts that they sent. No idea why they sent the rocker shaft spares. And then we've got the head underneath, collecting dust. Pretty much complete, except it doesn't have the roller rocker arms on it. Brand new bolts. And it's the protruding type. So I believe... Nope, this is recessed, sorry. That's the head. Okay, and I've got to finish bedding in that cam, because that cam isn't right. Like, that's how you buy them. They're expensive parts. So I'll leave this here. That's done. I don't think there's any more else to really discuss about or look at. But my parts are there, destroyed. And Triton MJ's still there. And then here's the new engine. This engine, oil sensor, is its belt, and if its belt, this number stuff wasn't here, I'd believe that it would be an older engine than I would have expected. But I've had this off, fan off. There was some stuff in the pickup, so I'm not sure if it's any good or not, but there was stuff on the pickup. You can still sort of see it look like brass, but that said it's plastic, so I'm not sure what that means. Take off one of these. I'm hearing stuff falling in. Take off one. I think this one was the worst one of them all, so this one's a bit scored up in the middle, but this is still a brand new bearing, I can tell that. As if I go for a harder one to get out, which I actually had this one out as well. Perfect. No problems. Same with this one will be. This one will be perfect, no problem. Look, slight scoring, but very, very good condition. We have the ones from the Pajero ND and L out the front at the moment. It's going to get registered soon and driven. Here we go. It's not too bad. And then number one, I think this one was perfect as well. So I don't think I need bearings in the bottom end. Pretty good. I can't complain about that. I reckon this is a good bottom end. All I need is new pistons and rings. Dingleberry hone. It's probably 20 foul oversize. I'll have to check against the pistons with micrometers, check the piston diameter, check the bore diameter, and to make sure everything's right in spec. I have to get the bottom end cleaned out, clean the coolant galleys, check this water pump, see if it's any good. Actually, I can't check properly because it's got resistance in it, so it's a good pump. It's a brand new pump. It's got a funny looking thermostat in there. It's probably genuine, probably not, I don't know. But most of this stuff here, this expensive bearing stuff, this might not be any good, but that one looks good. This one I have no idea. Yeah, I'm going to leave this alone for the time being. I'm going to put the sump back on because I've got bigger fish to fry at the moment. In terms of getting this sorted out, finishing this video, and getting back into what's meant to be done. I just finished securing the battery into the Pajero. I'm happy with what we've got. I'm very happy with what I've got. So this is the Pajero diesel engine that we pulled out of the 1988, and it's in pretty good condition. I'm going to change all the gears on this to something that's standard to the Triton, not to the Pajero, because I'm keeping the Triton. Don't know if Dad's going to keep the Pajero because he doesn't like manuals anymore. There's my spare V5M21 hydraulic housing, so that means I can use that. And I'm pretty much there at the moment, and I've got a drawer full of all my parts for when I do the front suspension and all the stuff up the front. I've got to do the drive shaft. I've got the spare one on the ground, so I'm going to have to pull this one out, rebuild that shaft, and then when I get a day off I can pull mine out and put that one straight in. So the idea is all the common parts that could break down, that I know I'm going to have issues with soon, I get spares, and what I do is I build them on the side, and when they fail, put them straight in and put them to the side as something ready to rebuild later on or straight away. So the idea is currently I'm going to rebuild both motors. I'm going to first of all build this one, turn it into the running engine. I'm going to pull mine out, put mine to the side, put this one in, and if this thing doesn't let me down, I'm going to rebuild mine properly as possible, and from there what I'm going to do is then keep that rebuild, put it to the side once it's rebuilt, and I'm slowly going to rebuild it and keep this one going. If something goes wrong with this, then I'll put mine back in and then pull this one out, and just sort of try to keep them well maintained, make sure they're all in good condition for their age and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Now I've got 3 sets of gears, three gearboxes now, because there's a hydraulic one, hydraulic, and cable. That is the one from the cable housing. and then so on and so forth. Well, thank you for watching. This is Michael from Mechanical, signing off.